weddings, and our own dance art studio, which is where all of these dancers are from and where they practice and take class and everything. How many of you have ever had to write a story? Excellent. Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. Not necessarily writing it, but we're going to be creating a story. A story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you guys are going to help us decide different parts of the story. I have these colored cards, and I'm going to be going around asking some of you to read what's on these cards. And sometimes you may have a choice. I may give you 3 different choices. So that means you are picking out what part of the story comes next. And we're going to see how that goes together and creates the story. So I'm sure you guys are really, really good about picking interesting things. We need to find out what happens between the beginning and the middle of a story, or what happens between the middle and the end of a story. But right now, we are going to start with the beginning of our story. Can you stand up and read that for me?
Goldilocks with the beautiful brown hair with the 3 bears to tell her crazy new idea.
So Goldilocks with the beautiful brown hair? Wait a second. Does Goldilocks have brown hair? Well, this is a fractured fairy tale, you know. Once upon a long ago and faraway time, there was a land in which lived friends of an unusual sort. This was the land of the fractured fairy tale, where each character was not who they seemed. This particular fractured fairy tale takes place after Goldilocks met the 3 bears. It is after she ate the porridge, broke the chair, and slept in the bed. In fact, after all those things, Goldilocks and the 3 bears were really good friends. One day, Goldilocks with the beautiful golden hair thought to herself, I just love my hair. Actually, I love it so much, I think I want to start a beauty and a makeover shop. Now, Goldilocks with the beautiful golden hair had never done any makeovers or styling, but she knew that if she worked really hard and loved something so much, she could make it work. The first thing she did was make over her own hair. She cut, she styled, and she dyed it. She was now the new Goldilocks. Goldilocks with the beautiful brown hair. Well, after that exciting success, she realized that she needed more friends to practice on before she could open her shop. Who would be happier to help her than the 3 bears? She gathered up all of her supplies and hurried over to the bears' house to tell them all about her idea and practice on their fur.
Girl, what you want to do?
Beautiful
is the next part of our story going to be? Let's create it together. Who would like to read the next part of our story? Pick one. Okay, stand up. Can you stand up?
Goldilocks is searching for the three bears. Deep in the woods, she finds some unexpected friends.
Good reading. She finds some unexpected friends in the woods. Unexpected friends. Let's see, who could that be? Thank you for creating the next part of our story. After the three bears ran away from Goldilocks with the beautiful brown hair, she grabbed her blow dryer and set out to find them. She was disappointed that they really hadn't liked her idea of a beauty shop, and that they had run away so quickly. She searched the land everywhere, but she couldn't find them. The last place she looked was deep in a dark forest. What Goldilocks did not know was that Cinderella was wandering there with just one glass slipper, so sad that her beautiful dress and coach had just vanished. Red Riding Hood was there too, lost and afraid of the big bad wolf. Everything seemed so strange as Goldilocks searched on and on. See if you can, as you're watching the dancers dance, understand the story that their movements are telling you. Goldilocks would have come across Red Riding Hood and Cinderella while she was looking for the bears? What's going to be the next part of our story?
The three bears discover the homes of the three little pigs. The bears and the pigs play and run.
The bears and the pigs play and rumble. Does anybody know what rumble means? It's like wrestle, tumble around. This is an interesting part of our story that you picked out. Now, the three bears had been running away from Goldilocks for a while. They walked and walked, and they were getting tired and sleepy. Soon enough, they came upon three little houses. The bears thought, could these little houses be a place where we could rest? Even though these houses are very small for such fine bears as we, there are three of us, and there are three houses. The bears were so tired, but weren't they surprised when they looked in those houses? Do you think the wolves' sneeze knocked those houses down? You do? Okay. So who wants to read this next part? Can you stand up?
The three little pigs built their houses with some help from the wolves.
You guys are good readers here at Aspen Creek. So the three little pigs, they have to rebuild their houses, right? And guess who's going to help them? The wolves. That's an interesting twist to our story. Well, the little pigs stared in disbelief at the houses. that were torn down. They had just turned their backs to play hide and seek with the bears, and all of a sudden they see that their houses are down. The little pigs thought for sure that the three bears were still playing hide and seek and waiting to be found. And then there is the matter of that giant sneeze that everyone heard. Those sneaky, tricky wolves were lurking nearby. As they came out of the woods, the pigs showed the wolves what their huffing and puffing and sneezing had done. The wolves said, "No, we didn't do it." They tried to convince the pigs that they had not blown down the houses. In fact, they said, "We'll help you rebuild them. We want to prove to you that we're innocent."
If I'm gonna build a house by the side of the road, well, the easy way out is a straw shack.
Okay, let's look at our storyboard up here. This is what we call our storyboard. We had the beginning of our story, and we added 3 different details or scenes that you picked out. And now we are at the middle of our story. So, who can read this one for me? How about you? Stand up.
The wolves are in trouble again. The wolves they get blamed for everything.
Wolves always get blamed for everything. Why is that? They have a bad reputation, don't they? No matter how hard they try to do good, great things, they always get blamed for the bad things that happen. Now, the news reporters are after them at the wolves' house, trying to get the true story of how the pigs' houses fell. Maybe they should just stay in and not talk to anybody and stay out of trouble. What would you do if there were news reporters at your door? Would you let them in? So, the wolves didn't do it. Do we all know who really knocked down the houses? So let's have somebody else create the next part of our story. Pick one. Can you stand up?
The wolves and the bears need someone to solve the problem of the pig's broken house.
Thank you. The wolves and the bears need someone to solve the problem of the pigs' broken houses. Thank you for helping create the next part of our story. So we all know that the bears broke the little pigs' houses, but it really was an accident. The bears were just too big to take a nap in the pigs' little homes. The wolves also knew the bears' secret and kept saying, "We didn't even do it. Why are we being blamed for the bears' mistakes? Couldn't the bears just tell the true story? And why won't anyone believe those crafty, wheezy, sneezy wolves? It seems that they need some help with their problem. It's time to call in a lawyer." "We need a meeting," they all agreed, and they called upon the best lawyer in the land, the giant, with his trusty assistant, Jack.
His influential friends. He's got very big connections, and I follow his directions. Bernie knows his way around, and so I always do what Bernie recommends. I am blessed with my attorney Bernie. I'm impressed with the way he runs the store. He's got Dodger season boxes, and I'm always full of foxes. It's amazing all the different things your average guy might need a lawyer for. Bernie tells me what to do. Bernie lays it on the line. Bernie says we sue, we sue. Bernie says we sign, we sign.
It's never too late. Stop an argument. Feel great. Compromise. Compromise. Try to understand every side. Compromise means meet in the middle. Meet in the middle, everyone. Give a little. Peace is a five-letter word. Best one I've ever heard. So true. Peace is a five-letter word. The best one I've ever heard. Check it out. Check. Check. Check it out. Check. Check. Check it out. Check, check, check it out. Check, check, check it out. Peace is a five-letter word. The best one I've ever heard.
Do they make peace with each other, do you think? Seems like it. Let's find out what the next part of our story is.
Since the giant has a new job as a lawyer, he needs a makeover. He discovers Goldilocks in her shop.
Nice reading. Thank you so much. So he has a job as a lawyer and he needs a makeover. So the giant and his trusty assistant Jack had swiftly solved the case of the wolves and the bears and the three little houses. Things were looking up in the land. Peace, peace, and more peace. Unfortunately, the giant was still known as the one who bellows, fee, fi, fo, fum. And when anyone heard those words, they ran away from him in terror. He decided to head over to Goldilocks' new shop. Perhaps getting a makeover will help everyone see him as a great lawyer instead of an angry giant. There at the shop, he saw Cinderella and Thumbelina. They were the first customers to get a cool new look from Goldilocks and the stylist that she had just hired. Who did Goldilocks hire as her stylist? The Three Pigs.